Hello YouTube, this is Chris with Experimental Services. So, sorry about all the crude drawing here, but I'm going to, I know I already touched on this subject before in another video, but I had other stuff in it. I'm going to do a standalone video on it. I keep getting asked about this and mocked and ridiculed, made fun of, and tagged in things, and you know, I just got tagged by one of my family members that with somebody using a very small, which is what they usually do. They'll use a small thing, like say, like this, and then they'll go, well, that doesn't work with the sun and, you know, night and day, and with the stars and the angle of the moon, and why does this person see the bottom of the moon and this person sees the top of the moon? That only works on a ball, blah, 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 blah. And that's not true. They use these models that are, this is even way undersized for what the actual biblical flat earth is, but it'll work. But they use these real undersized models with these oversized undersized models with the oversized sun and moon. They keep trying to mix NASA's model with God's biblical flat earth, and you cannot do that. It doesn't work. God's design doesn't match the devil's design, period. So, we're gonna, with a flashlight, a cardboard box, and a marker, a permanent marker, sorry, I almost fell. I'm gonna give a basic thing of how the sun, moon, stars, constellation, and all that work. It's all perspective and line of sight and distance, because we can only see so far without help from equipment like a camera, binoculars, telescope, so on and so forth. We can only see so far. Then you got buildings and trees and all kinds of other stuff that are also in the way. Okay, you got to take all that into effect and more. But I'm going to show you it'll work. All this will work. All right. So, I've proven on my channel. Get my pen. Wait. I have proven on my channel that the sun and moon are the same size. You can go watch it on my videos. I've proven they're smaller and local. I used a flare, a welding goggle on a regular camera, and it took away the glare. And once it did that, it showed it much smaller, pretty much the same size as the moon. And it showed that it was local, because there's things on that, even on the moon, that you cannot see with a regular camera, like you're using a so-called NASA telescope. All right, but let's get on with this, because I'm trying to keep this short for time. All right, so the argument is, from people that still believe in NASA's model, is that you can't see different angles of the moon and different upside down, right side up, and different things of that nature on the moon. Okay, on a flat Earth. Well, I'm going to show you that you can. I showed you another video that, like I said, I'm going to make a standalone. So before we even start moving it, and it's tilting and going like this and going like this and going in a circle, just look at it when this marker is sitting flat. Okay? You got guy on the north. They see the sharpie upside down. They see both the cap and the bottom of the pen. This person over here in the east only sees the bottom of the cap, or the pen, rather. I don't know why I keep saying cap. I've recorded this video a few times, and it's messed up a few times. And if they can see the writing, it's from right to left. This person's perspective and distance, same as those two, they see the word right side up, and they see both the bottom of the marker and the cap. This person over here in the west sees the bottom of the cap, and if they see the writing, it's from left to right. Okay, but we know that's not how the moon works. The moon rotates in a clockwise on a circuit, like the Bible says. So if you got the moon, let's just say we'll do it going from the east to west, okay, because that's how we're told the moon rises. But it doesn't rise, it just goes in and out of view. So we'll start with the guy on the east. Okay, so he's seeing the full cap and the full bottom of the pen, sharpie written upside down. Okay, as it's going to the south, now he sees the bottom of the cap. If he sees the writing at all, he doesn't see the bottom, he sees it left to right. Okay. Now the guy in the south, he sees both of them, like I said, the cap and the bottom, and he sees it upside down, the Sharpie upside down. As it's going around to the west, now he's seeing the bottom of the pin, but not seeing, or the top of the pin with the cap, he's not seeing the bottom, and he's seeing the word Sharpie going from bottom to top, from right to left. Okay, if he's, now it's going around over here, as it's going around over here, and that's not counting all the people that are in between, but it's, if there's four people on the earth, okay, as it's going around like this, he gets over here, the guy in the west sees the Sharpie upside down. Now he sees the full cap, or the full bottom of the pin and the full cap. As it's going around to the north and resetting, now he sees the bottom of the cap, or the cap, but he doesn't see the bottom. He sees the top of the cap, but not the bottom of the pin. If he sees the writing, he sees it from right, or left to right. The guy in the north now sees the full view of the cap right here and the bottom of the pin, and now he sees the Sharpie upside down. That's not taking into effect it rotating like it does. That's not taking into effect it tilting. That's not taking effect. All this comes into play. You see how now they're all getting different angles? Okay? They're all getting different angles as it's, without even, with it tilting, it's even worse. Okay? Same thing with the stars. Okay, everybody knows we have fixed stars. Okay, the constellations. We'll just say this is a constellation, and we'll say this is the constellation here that I drew. This is a constellation. This is a constellation. There's obviously more constellations. Okay, on a much bigger scale, it would be a lot different. So this person, okay, can't really see that constellation. But if there's a person that's over here, they're going to see the constellation, and they're going to see the constellation. Now, if this is the constellation, this headphone set, he's going to see it, but he's not going to see it. He's not going to see it. He's not going to see it over here. Just as none of them are going to see this constellation, the fixed stars in the sky. Okay, that's scientifically proven. It's not just biblical, it's scientifically proven. There's big stars in the sky that don't move. I get the Big Dipper and Little Dipper every night in California, in Bakersfield. I get the Big Dipper and Little Dipper. Always have. Okay, now, if there's constellations where, like I said, there's people, say there's a person right here, now they're going to see, they have a better chance with distance and anything not in the way or anything else. They're going to have a chance of seeing this constellation with this person, but this person over here is not going to see it. Then you get the stars that go around the top that actually move around the top, and that's the ones we all see. Okay? Period. Okay? Now we'll go to the sun, because, you know, they, like I said, they use this small little tiny model and these big old spotlights like that. Well, of course, the moon and sun are not going to work on that little bitty space. But as you see, and I don't have the glass dome above me or anything, which would make it a little bit brighter. But as you see, and you got the distance of the sun, but it only takes up half the box. It only takes up half, and then you got day and night. The moon's going around with the stars that do move, and then the sun is going around day and night. It's not hard, guys. This is not a difficult process. You've got the sun over here going around, okay? And on a much bigger scale, and God telling it, giving its orders what to do, you can see it very easily could work day and night on half the earth. See, if I move it up a little bit more, and this is what we get with sunset and sunrise. Okay, as they call it. You got the big part of the sun, which is the brighter part, okay? And then you got the little lesser light on the outside of the edges, and as what we call the sun going down, that's what's giving us the lesser light before, as the moon's coming in. See how the stick figure there? it's getting lesser and it's getting not as bright on the south, and it's getting brighter on the north, and the sun gets above them and gets really bright in that area, so on and so forth. Then you got to take the scattering of the light with the dome, with the glass, so it's going to make it more even, more bright on more of half the earth. But as you see, even with just a flashlight, it covers, with the right distance, it covers only half the earth, and the other half stays dark. So don't let anybody fool you telling you that a day and night cycle cannot work on a biblical flat earth, because and the constellations and the angles of the moon, and you know, and then even if you could see the constellation, say there's the constellation here, okay, you're gonna see, even if you can see it because it's fixed, if I'm looking at it this way, the same thing with the moon, like I just showed, if I'm looking at it this way, I'm gonna see that Southern Cross different than somebody that's standing over here. They're going to see it different as well. It's perspective, distance, angle, all kinds of different things. But don't let nobody tell you and fool you that it can't work. It's not that difficult. You make it difficult because just like me, we all at one time were brainwashed in our subconscious, because they got us when we were children and taught us that fake light globe model that nothing works on. So whenever you show people stuff like this, they're like, oh, nope, that doesn't work. And then they come up with these stupid little models where everything is just blended together and nobody can see anything different than the other person. So obviously that's not gonna work. This matches reality. On a much bigger scale, it would be exactly what we see every day and every night. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. I've got 2 more videos coming up. Well, more than 2, but there's one that I found in Australia on Google Earth, where it's another flat Earth emblem at a park with an all-knowing, with the Illuminati triangle with the all-knowing eye. It looks like an all-knowing, well, it's supposed to symbolize an all-knowing eye above it. Another spot I found, I got made aware of today about in Texas. There's a building that when you use Street View, instead of going into the building like you're supposed to be able to when you click on it, it takes you into the ISS. You'll trip out when you see these 2. But I'll try to get those up today. If I can't get them up today, I'll get them up tomorrow. But anyway, use all the links in the About Me section. Rate, comment, subscribe. Much love. God bless. And I'll see you on the next one.